Hey guys, make sure you enter the giveaway. All you have to do is be subscribed to the channel, like this video and leave a comment. In this video, I'll be introduced with a theory of mine in which Theon Greyjoy, who's no longer capable of producing heirs, has actually already produced heir back in the second season, and therefore if we are to assume that Euron will eventually be defeated, Yara on the other hand will die fighting Euron, while Theon will be crowned the king of the Iron Islands, the same heir would be of the great importance as it would prevent House Greyjoy from extinction. This theory is supported with quite a few clues from both the show and the book series, so let's just jump into it. In the second episode of the second season, aboard the Myreham, a ship taking him to Pike, Theon descends to the captain's cabin which he has taken for his own. The captain's daughter waits in his bed naked. After a bit of small talk, she helps Theon to unlace his breeches and tells him that he'll be a king one day. Having an intimate relationship with her most probably resulted with her being pregnant, but it's also important to highlight that Theon told her about the Ironborn tradition of taking salt wives, whereupon she begged him to take her as one. A salt wife is essentially a bound concubine in Ironborn culture. They are usually the women kidnapped during raids. However, children born to salt wives are not considered bastards, but they do rank behind children of a Lord's Rock wife, an Iron Man's true spouse, in the line of succession, which in this case is not important since Theon is no longer capable of producing a child. In Song of Ice and Fire, a series of epic fantasy novels on which Game of Thrones is based, there are even more clues that are leading towards a conclusion that the captain's daughter truly got pregnant with Theon's child. In the books, those two share a very similar scene as in the show, with one difference being Theon's sentence about her getting pregnant. On the show, upon revealing to Theon that her father will punish her and call her names if he doesn't take her with him and make her his salt wife, Theon only responded with a statement that he hasn't paid her, but that's not the same case in the books. In the books, Theon on her confession of fear responds with, "As many times as I fucked, you're likely with child. It's not every man who has the honor of raising a king's bastard." Perhaps this was a bit too obvious for Shadow and Clue to be included in the show. Later in the books, it's also been highlighted that Theon is confident that he got the captain's daughter pregnant. While on the show, the two haven't met ever since. In the books, they did see each other once again a few weeks after their first encounter, as her ship was forbidden to leave Pike for quite some time, so that the mainland could not be warned in advance that the Iron Islands have declared their independence, and as Theon went back to the docks in the company of his sister, the two saw each other. The captain's daughter calls out Theon, trying to convince him to speak with her and to take her as his salt wife, but Theon just ignored her. Perhaps she was trying to tell him she was indeed pregnant with his child and therefore convince him to take her as his salt wife, and if true, that's definitely something we will learn in Game of Thrones finale. There's one more clue that goes in favor to this theory of mine, and it's from George R. R. Martin's other book, The World of Ice and Fire, The Untold History of Westeros and the Game of Thrones. In that book, we learned that House Greyjoy had to be continued at least once through the Salt Sons of Salt Wives, as there's written that Dalton Greyjoy, also known as the Red Kraken, had never taken a rock wife, true spouse, but had lots of salt wives, and therefore his closest heirs were his Salt Sons. If we stop for a moment to think about it, this could be one of many foreshadows and clues that Theon actually has a son and heir that will be introduced in the show once Euron is defeated, Yara killed and Theon crowned, as Theon's huge relief that House Greyjoy will not extinct with him, but will rather continue through his Salt Son once he dies. Otherwise, I wouldn't see the point of all of those clues in both the books and the show regarding the captain's daughter's pregnancy. There would not either be a point in George R. R. Martin's introduction with different approach to marriage and inheritance surrounding Ironborn if the history will not repeat itself once again, and House Greyjoy will not be continued through Theon's Salt Son. And as always, let me know your opinion about all of this in the comment section down below. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please make sure to subscribe to our channel, and I hope to see you in the next one. Peace.